Hello, everybody. This is Sri from BizBuzz. What matters the most in your business? Sponsored by My Work Belt. My Work Belt is a all-in-one software, particularly catering to service-based small businesses. And the website is myworkbelt.com. And today we have guest Kishor Rao. Kishor is a capital expert, and he is on mission for helping small businesses on becoming their own bank, opposed to going to the banks for lending or borrowing money for that matter. Kishore, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Thank you for joining me on the show. Before we dive into furthermore, can you tell me where are you located at?
I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. That is actually where we have all the American history, a great history-rich city, isn't it?
Absolutely. It was a very big, lot of festivities for the 250th year anniversary last week.
Wonderful, wonderful.
July 4th.
Now, you are helping small businesses, and you're also helping individuals. Is that correct?
Correct. I work with both individuals as well as businesses.
Excellent. Now, when we are focusing in our episode more of businesses, so there are three terms that I wanted to have a simple definitions where everybody can understand. Now, what is a revenue means? I know it is a very basic term. You might laugh at me, but certainly it is very well important word when somebody is starting a new business or somebody is in business shortly.
So revenue is all the money that the business brings in completely before you pay any expenses out.
Right.
So it's any money. So if you sell a product, sell an ebook, let's just say an ebook is $10, you sell 100 of them. Guess what? That's $1,000 in revenue. Which is fantastic. And you feel like, wow, I just made $1,000.
It is indeed, right.
And of course, when you're talking about a bigger business,
Yeah.
that serves services or software or some sort of product, that amount scales up. So you could have revenue as far as $50,000 or $100,000, and
Now,
we see that a lot.
When people in the market, they always talk about scaling your business. So is there any correlation between scaling your business to the revenue?
There is. When you scale your business, if you scale your business, you expect the revenue to scale as well. And that's the whole premise. Sometimes, depending on how you scale your business, sometimes the revenue scales exponentially. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, every business is different, so it depends on what your goals are. When people want to scale, they focus more on scaling their revenue.
Now,
is what they're talking about.
Now, that is the beginning, or meaning one end of the business, right?
Correct.
And the complete other end of the business is profit or loss. How do you define that?
Simple. Profit is the money that goes into your into the business once all the expenses and everything else is paid out.
So you're making, in the example that you're giving, you're selling an ebook for $10 piece, and you sold 10 pieces. Now you got $1,000 revenue, right?
Sure.
Now you are paying all expenses, like you're paying to the postage hosting service, and you're paying for email services that are delivery mechanisms, whatnot. And then finally, whatever the leftover is a profit. Is that a right analogy?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, every situation is different, but in this example, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, between revenue and making profit, the cash is flowing, right? You got the revenue. If you look at a pipe, You got a revenue coming into the pipe, and then you got the holes that are taking or draining the whatever the cash coming in, and finally whatever the leftover is what profit that's flowing out on other end of the pipe.
Correct.
Now, but in financial terms, what is a cash flow?
So cash flow, in my mind, is money that's coming in from your business, from your product, from your service, that you can use to actually run your business. So that is cash flow, at least my definition of it.
Right.
Your definition could be slightly different, and somebody listening to it, they could have their own personal definition, and which is subject, and that's okay, but there's so much overlap there.
Now, see, there is a lot of people, they say, well, you can have a profitable business, but you could go out of business due to cash flow.
Absolutely.
That is a very interesting statement to me.
Mm-hmm.
Help us understand, why would that be? If you're a profitable business, you should be enjoying the profit, right? Why would you get into trouble with the cash flow?
The problem is, people don't understand that they could have more expenses than they realize. I mean, we're talking not just the monthly expenses, we're talking expenses that people don't think about, hidden expenses, so to speak. Here's one example, one small example. Everybody has this uncle. His name is Uncle Sam. You know,
That's true.
Sam, right?
Okay? Yes.
He's going to come knocking at your door, every quarter, every year.
That's
He's going to
correct.
say, okay,
Give me my part.
Give me my cut, absolutely. Now, let's be real. Most companies, most businesses are supposed to have money in reserve for your uncle. They don't. They don't. So guess what? That's going to cut in to your profits.
Right.
And that's a problem. So, people have to make sure they have enough money in reserve to, cover all these expenses. And there are a lot more hidden expenses than people realize. Taxes, they can be like, prices of things go up, like for your inventory. Some businesses, their model may have like a net 30 or net 60, where customers don't pay immediately. They pay after some time.
Yes.
Guess what? What happens if they want to pay a little bit later just because of their situation? That means no cash flow for you.
What are the other scenarios that can put us into a trouble as far as the cash flow challenges is concerned?
Oh, emergencies. Let's just say you're a farm, and let's just say 2 of your tractors break down. All of a sudden, your tractors can't yield the crop.
Right.
So you're not making that money. Secondly, the tractors, you either have to fix them or repair them.
You have to fix them. Yes.
Right, and that's going to cost money too. So these expenses are always going to be there, and not everybody accounts for that. So these are the things that people have to be concerned about. So equipment is one. You have slow paying customers. Inventory. And what happens if you have a supplier that provides material for your business? And what happens if they say, you know what, we're going to be charging more, for this. Or better yet, you rent a property, in the local town, and the person that owns the building raises their rent. All of a sudden, guess what? You can't afford it anymore.
Speaking of inventory, I found a very interesting situation here that I wanted to bring it to your attention here, right? Sometimes the suppliers, they come up with offers, right? If you buy the X amount of inventory today, I'll give you 20% discount. Right now, 20% discount sounds really exciting for us. And we look at the bank account, oh, okay, I got this amount that can help me buy this and enjoy the 20% discount. Now I got this cheaper product, which I can make more profit. But guess what? That money that you have in the bank needed to run the payroll a week after you buy the inventory. Now, guess what happens if you don't have the money? You use the money that actually supposed to run the payroll. Now you bought the inventory. You used up all the reserve that is kept for payroll. You don't have money to run the payroll.
That's a
Now,
problem.
if you don't run the payroll, guess what happens? Now the domino effect kicks in. You don't run the payroll, your customers, your employees are mad, and some of the employees will possibly walk away. Now what happens? The next week or next month, now the employees are walking away. Now you can't fulfill your obligations that you committed with your customers. Now, in order for you to fulfill your obligations, you have to hire new employees. Now, hiring new employees is costing you money. Now, whatever the 20% you think you saved by buying this inventory on a discounted price is going to get eaten up by the troubles that is causing due to lack of cash flow.
Absolutely. You just hit the nail right on the head. And that's the problem. People have a certain perception of cash flow. You have to make sure you have enough capital in reserve, someplace stored, someplace safe, where when challenges like this come up, 20% discount sounds great, but if they don't foresee what the ripple effect of that's going to be, then it's going to make the business suffer or even bankrupt, depending on the situation.
It is going to create any challenges. Now, how do you use capital to address any cash flow challenges? Is it possible?
It's always possible. There's always lots of different strategies that are out there. You just have the one that fits you the best. So for me personally, I've had a lot of experience. We've talked about this in the past.
Right.
There's a product called Infinite Banking Concept.
Mm-hmm.
It's a place to store your hard-earned money,
Mm-hmm.
where it continuously grows, and you can borrow it from it, and it'll continue to grow at the exact same time. So this I've used for both personal as well as businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And for businesses, this is a fantastic opportunity where as companies make their profit,
Yeah.
sorry, as companies make their inventory, they make their money, and they take their money and then put it into this reserve. This is their own personal reserve.
Mm-hmm.
It is a whole life insurance policy, but that's just a tool. That's all it is. Don't think about this. Oh, my company has life insurance. No, we have to get that thought out of your head. This is simply a very specialized tool to keep your money safe. And once your money
When you're talking keep the money in reserve, so in other words, what you are suggesting here, correct me if I'm wrong, you treat the cash is also same as inventory, right? You keep the inventory in reserve in order for you to deliver new orders and any new commitments that you come up, or sometimes emergency requests come from the customers. Now you have a reserve inventory that you can use it to satisfy the emergency requests coming from the customers.
Absolutely. And it's for everything. It's not just the emergency, it's for the operational expenses too. You're running operational. Of course, this needs to be strategized, this needs to be planned out, but it's very doable. So as your business makes profit, actually, before it even makes profit, you get the revenue, the money that comes in. You take all that revenue, put it into your reserves, put it into this store, this bank, so to speak. Once it's there, Sri, then as you have your monthly expenses, you have payroll, you have to pay for inventory, you pay quarterly taxes, whatever they may be. You borrow money from this and use it to pay. And then what happens is every month you get more revenue, and you use that revenue to help pay back the money that you borrowed from your bank, and you continue to let it grow, and it just continues to compound. The best part about this is, though, is that because it's using a whole life insurance policy and it's set up as infinite banking, when you borrow money from this location, the money is still going to grow as if you never borrowed from it.
Right. So that's
So,
one of the tools that you're suggesting
yes,
to use. But
absolutely.
there
So,
can be many other ways to skin a cat.
oh,
Yeah, right.
absolutely.
Excellent.
In my mind, this is my uh, biggest bang for the buck.
Mm,
Uh,
mm,
like I said,
understand.
there's lots of tools, there's lots of strategies out there. For me, I started this on a personal level because I knew everyone says the best way to make money is to invest, is to
Understand.
put your money in something and let it grow. The problem is you're
Right.
giving somebody else control of your money,
Mm,
okay? And then
mm,
you're hoping that the property is going to appreciate. You're hoping
mm,
that the tenants in that property is going to continue paying rent and they're not going
mm,
to, leave or stop paying rent. There's a lot of hope and pray. It works most of the time as long as you do your due diligence. But
mm,
I came across this, and this doesn't use investing. It goes the other side. When you're not investing your money, when your money's just sitting waiting to be deployed, where can you put it? That's infinite banking. You put your money in a location that you control. You have complete control over. But same thing with the business. They put their money in there. They
mm,
take the money out when they need it. They put the
mm.
money. They pay it back when
Right.
when they're done. But it continues to grow and compound. Sometimes when people look at this, it may not make sense for year one and year two,
Right. Right.
just because of how much money that's actually the way it's growing. But the magic of compounding, after year five, after year six, depending on how it's strategized for you, that's when you see that you can borrow $100,000 from it to purchase a truck or pay some expenses, payroll or taxes, but the money's still going to go on the back end as if you
Got it.
never took the money out. And
Excellent.
that's the
So,
magic pill.
so if I summarize it in the business sense, now your all the revenue, which is basically the money that is coming out of all the sales or product or services that you're doing, that's the revenue coming in. And now all your expenses will be taken care by the revenue, but you have to make sure there is some funds going into the reserve to address the emergencies or anything else, and leftover is what the profit. Now, when you are talking about cash flow, you have to be very strategic about it when you are making purchases. Don't get enticed when there is any discounts coming in. Make sure, is that purchase going to hinder your cash flow, so you don't get into a cash flow choking and get into further more troubles when you're running the business. I hope that is a valuable takeaway for you, and that you can apply in your business and grow your business. And Kishore, thank you very much for joining us today. And I hope you had a good time on this show, and looking forward to see you again.
Absolutely, Shi. This is wonderful. Thank you very much for allowing me to be on and speak with your audience.
Excellent. Thank you. Until next show, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel, like it, and share the video to your fellow business owners, those who can take these tips and grow their business. Wishing you all the best.